It's not recording. Quiet on set. Camera's rolling. Action.
What up, y'all? Welcome back for another episode of the King Code. And we are just absolutely ecstatic to chop it up today. And joining us this week, we got the infamous Brother Quillian Jackson, otherwise known as King Quill. My main man, Poker Jones, always counting all his blessings. Big Chris Allen up in here. And then, of course, yours truly, Dr. Ed Womack, the Urban Leadership Strategist. And we are just going to first and foremost shout out this amazing gratitude for the support that you guys have been showing us each and every week on the King Code. You've been hitting us up on Instagram, hitting us on our social media, encouraging us and really pushing us forward in our inspiration. And we just are just absolutely humbled and inspired by your continued following. And so today we're going to try to stay true to that, y'all, because they starting to look, they starting to follow us. And so we just going to keep it moving with those topics that are relevant. And today we're going to chop it up on the topic of male versus man. What is that all about? What does that mean? And how can we as a King Code help those that are out there that are continuing to follow us find their royalty within as it relates to male versus man? So let's chop that up, man, a little bit. So we hear that. What comes to your mind when you hear that, Pope?
First thing comes to my mind when I hear male versus man, it sounds like what's in the middle of that is responsibility.
Hold up now. See, come on now. Put a little meat on that bone, man.
I can say that because I'm a male by nature, but I'm a man by accepting my responsibility and by growing up and continuing in life. I haven't always been a man. Now, I can honestly say that. I've not always been a man. I've been a male forever. I've been a boy for a long, long time.
Come on now.
And I'm finally a man.
Boy, that's hot stuff. Chris, talk to me, man. When you hear that male versus a man, my goodness, I couldn't come after that. I'm going to give you,
Well, I just say, you're born, your gender, you're born a man, a male, you know what I'm saying? But you have to grow, your growth to become a man, that's what I'm thinking. So, and responsibility, like he said, that's the main ingredient, you know what I'm saying?
That's the meat.
Hey, that's the meat.
Poker came out. Come on, Will. What you got when you hear that, man? Male versus man. What it mean to you?
Well, Poker dove inside my head and stole responsibility. That is the first thing that comes up, but it's what is responsibility? How do we get that responsibility? The trials and tribulations it takes.
Right.
I know with my situation, I had to be the so-called man of my house when I was really the male of my house, and didn't realize it. Everyone who came before me was either incarcerated or dead. Wow. So as a child, 6, 7 years old, I'm the male of my house, thinking I'm the man of my house. But over the years, I had to learn what really is a man and learn to take responsibility. Don't run away from situations that you come across, and learn to stand up and fight for what you believe in and accept responsibility for your actions.
Accept responsibility. So, man, Poker, you just straight threw it out there. Woo! Bam, just responsibility. And for those sitting out there, I'm going to go ahead and take a stab at it because I, too, was a boy for far too long. Born a male, as Chris chopped it up and stated, but didn't really understand that full essence of the responsibility of being a true man. And so today, y'all, we gonna chop it up a little bit. Poker done just straight opened up the can. So we gonna see if we can help somebody out there that might be struggling, might not even know.
Right.
Because I'm serious, man. There's a lot of us walking around here that are males that ain't performing as men.
Right.
In our families, in our work, in our hoods, in our community at large. And that's not to down anybody, but to straight up, let's get it out there so that we can all begin to get better. Because y'all know my slogan, good, better, best. We can't let it rest till our good is our better and our better is our best. But when we talk about that particular topic of male versus man, what do you think? Man, responsibility. So like you said, Quill, what does that responsibility actually look like? You mentioned that you were at a very early age given some responsibility that you wasn't quite ready for.
Absolutely.
And so I think that's a fair place to kind of start the conversation, if we would.
Absolutely. And like you were just saying, a lot of viewers out there may not even realize it, that they're not a man. I didn't.
Yeah, exactly.
In my head, well, you know, mom and them, they say I'm the man of the house now, you know? And I got into that's the reason why I've been in hundreds of fights in my life.
Okay.
Because as a child, I'm out in the hood protecting my family. All I knew was to protect these women that, you know, that I live with. That's all I knew.
Okay.
I was raised by my grandmother, my mother, and my aunt.
Okay.
And that was all the family I knew. I didn't know my cousins, and I later in life started meeting the people on my mother's side. So in my mind, it was like, I'm the man. And I knew to be a protector.
Okay.
And I had that part.
Okay.
But all the other stuff, the being able to be a provider,
Right.
the emotional needs that those around you need as a man to be that rock,
Right.
you know.
Right.
And I learned it through trial and error through the years, but hopefully with King Code, we can avoid the trial and error for some of you out there,
Exactly.
from our experiences,
Mm-hmm.
and get a solution for you where you see, okay, well, this brother went through that. I might be currently there.
Mm-hmm.
What steps can you take? So some of the steps I took is I observed. I kept my eyes open and my mouth closed most times to observe what was going on. You know, I would see this guy, oh no, he's a joker. You know, I don't want to follow him. You know, and then you see this guy, I'm like, man, okay. He's married. He's taking care of his kids. He's working. He's providing. You know, when things go bad, he's there to kind of keep the ship steady.
Yeah.
And I would pick out those guys in my community who I saw like that and just take notes.
Right.
Man. I'm gonna pop over to Chris because I remember, you know, as we were getting kind of familiar with each other, and Chris was sharing about how your dad, you know, kind of set the tone, gave you the example.
Yeah.
And so when you hear Quill share about, you know, the observance, I think that's huge.
Mm-hmm.
So what did you get out of, you know, observing dad and other guys in your life?
Well, you know, like in BMU, one of our mottos is to provide and protect. That's what the man's supposed to do. Right. So, you know, with him looking at the example, that's what he did for us. You know, it shows how to be a provider and also to be a protector. And I just feel like that's much needed in today's society. So that we try to teach that to the young kids ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Because you look at television, it's not giving you no kind of way to see what a man is, okay? So you can't. I mean, most definitely. I mean, they have a gay agenda, you know. So it's just like, I'm not really saying that against the gays or whatever. I don't have no hate for nobody, but that agenda, trying to make a woman to be a man, she cannot be a man.
Transgender man.
Transgender man, they can't be none of that, you know.
Right.
So a male has to be a man, in his household.
Okay.
That's number one for me.
So Quill, Poker, man. So when you hear about that whole observation and exposure, because you can't be what you don't see,
Right.
Yeah.
you know, and it's hard to try and emulate. Oftentimes we set this bar for our brothers out there in society,
Right.
but they never have any real nurturing. Like you say, on TV, they ain't getting it because you turn on the news, it's death, destruction, and chaos. The first 6 minutes, no matter where it is, it's just a different place. No real stories. So from an exposure perspective, because, you know, we have a similar past, Poker. All of us actually have been through some peaks and valleys. Chris was kind of a little less involved in the hardcore stuff, but he has some experiences nonetheless. So I'm not minimizing that, but that's part of why we put the code together like this. But so from your perspective, when you were coming up, Poker, what kind of examples did you see? I know yours are similar to mine, you know, players, pimps, hustlers.
Right.
So share a little bit on, you know, what you saw coming up before you decided and realized you needed to be a man.
Well, honestly and seriously, I can honestly say I've seen a lot of bad examples. I grew up around some of the worst people that you could call, you know, men, or what I thought was men at the time.
Okay.
I didn't see all the right things. You know, I grew up around a lot of hustlers. I grew up around a lot of swimmers. I grew up around a lot of people that were just living for the moment. You know, my environment didn't produce fathers. You know, I come up from Southwest Atlanta. A lot of fathers didn't get produced in that neighborhood. The ones that did and try to do the right thing, for some reason, it seemed like something always bad happened to them. You know,
Wow.
I got more people that accept the responsibility of being a father at a young age in the grave that are still, than the ones that are still here trying to get together. So I guess the old saying, the good die young, is too real, because I seen, you know, I got a peek of the ones that were doing good. But one thing about it, when you're trying to do right, you don't have too much time for a lot of other people. So I only got a glimpse of these of the responsible guys being the father, because you can only see them coming and going.
Right.
A real father, a real responsible man don't have too much time to dib and dab anyway. So you only get a glimpse of a real man, and you better catch it while you can. You see what I'm saying? and you better absorb that knowledge when he comes around, and you better open yourself to him. So every time I did get a chance to be around a real man, you know, I sat around, I absorbed it because I didn't grow up with a father. So with that being said, I clung to every guy that I had a chance to, that I seen had something that I felt like could help me in my life. But once again, you only get a glimpse of these guys because they be too busy being men. So with that being said, I really think God helped me out a lot. You know, he had a lot forthcoming for me. I made a lot of bad decisions. I thought I was a man at times when I really wasn't. And he finally brought me to a point now that I can say I'm a man. I'm accepting my responsibilities. I'm there for everything I need to get done. And I'm trying to push my energy as me being a responsible male / man to the next guy that's trying to make it happen. So believe me, I think without the grace of God, I do not think that I would have even became a man.
Man, you know,
I would have been the male. I would have died at a male, a fetus. I'd have been a grown fetus.
A grown fetus.
Come in the grave, same when you come in the world, all balled up. Look at that fetus with a mustache.
With a fetus with a mustache. Boy,
I wouldn't have been no man. You know, it's just a lot of them walk around like this. One thing about it, it's almost like having a drug habit. You do not get no better until you can actually say that there's something wrong. You got to speak on it.
That's hot.
You got to bring it to the table. If you never bring it to the table, there's a lot of them walk around here thinking they're grown and thinking they're a man. And boy, I tell you, no deal.
Man, you know, and I'm reminded as you were sharing, like when I was growing up, I spent the majority of my life kind of what I call straddling the fence.
Right.
Because growing up on the west side of Detroit, you know, I certainly saw the players, the pimps, the hustlers, but then I had a mom and dad. My dad was a cop.
Right.
And my mom was a nurse. So I was kind of like stuck with having to do what mom and daddy told me to do, but that wasn't really attractive and cool.
Right.
But I was looking at some of my people in the hood who I really like gravitated toward, because again, I was still trying to step outside of myself, be something I didn't really know and understand. And so that whole male versus man for me, it wasn't until I can honestly say, and I want to be transparent, because some of us, like we were saying, out there, and don't even realize they ain't real men just yet. Right. And there's a couple of different things that I noticed for myself was, okay, yeah, I had this outward shell. Yeah, I had all the physical parts of being a man. But was I really? I was a kid, you know, because of some of the choices I made early on, some of the things I gave my attention to. But we talk about responsibility. We talked about emotion, and we're going to circle back to them because them hot quills open.
Them the main thing that shy you away from growing.
You know, and I ain't had none. I was like, okay, I just got to get it. It's me against the world.
Right.
And a lot of our brothers that's out there now, we're gonna unlock this thing, y'all, because if the King Code, we're going to help you find that royalty within. And so, wow, man, y'all done started something up here today, man.
I mean, I think like I guess when a male has a child,
Right.
some of them grow up to be, you know, that's when their growing up starts. You know what I'm saying? Because if you're gonna take care of responsibility, but then you have some that's mainly who not doing that now. You know what I'm saying? They have kids and have kids not doing that. They are what? Sperm donors, but they're not fathers. You know what I'm saying?
Chris.
So, you know what I'm saying? So it's just so much to it. They sit around and play the game, let the woman go to work, let the woman have the car in her name, the apartment in her name, or the house. You know what I'm saying? She's providing. She's doing all the providing while he's sitting at home. You know.
Man, so. Let's see. So let's back that up. So let's back that up a little bit. So it's a statistic that says 77% of single parent homes are being run by women. So
I can believe that.
To Chris's point,
Not
how do we
my
turn
house.
that around?
Not my house.
How do we turn that around? What do we say to that brother out there that might be estranged, might not be involved in his kid's life? Because I think that was a great point, Chris. I know for me that was a turning point.
Right.
When I had my first daughter, it really woke me up because I was a straight emotional retard before then. It was like, okay, I'm providing, checks, putting direct deposit in, but I wasn't attached emotionally. And so what do you think might be a good solution, or why is it that some of us just straight like bounce? when we have children or don't step up to the plate to take our responsibility? What y'all think?
Because